Welcome into the Browns Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and today is all about answering your questions. Okay, the biggest rumors going on with the Cleveland Browns. What do you guys want to know? Before we dive into the latest with Cleveland, I need your guys' help. I need diehard Browns fans to help me out on X. Can we gain 25 followers on Twitter today? I'm getting a lot of haters right now. It's the offseason, and everyone's telling me, move on from Shador, and all these other fans saying the Browns are going to suck again. So I need diehard Browns fans to help me out, defend the Browns on X. Can we just get 25 followers on today's show? Joey070 is where you can follow me on X. Would appreciate all the Browns fans to help me out here and battle these trolls on Twitter. First question we got comes in from Andrew B. Do you think Falcons will be interested in Dillon Gabriel? We will give him to them for a 5th round pick. We absolutely would. I certainly would. Now, the reason this has become coming up as a rumor is because of the Kevin Stefanski connection, right? We know that Stefanski liked Gabriel, wanted Gabriel, started Gabriel, was wrong about Gabriel, has an ego, though. But he's not the GM in Atlanta. I mean, he will have input, absolutely, but, I mean, you saw how bad Dillon Gabriel was. And I don't think Stefanski's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's the guy we got to go get. No, I think he'd rather they keep Kirk Cousins than get Dillon Gabriel. But from our side of things, yes, deal Dillon Gabriel. Waste of a 3rd-round pick. You've got 2 rookie quarterbacks for some reason. You saw which one was better. No reason to have Gabriel sitting there. Watson's your backup. So I would do it. I don't think the Falcons would actually be interested in this, Andrew, but I'll keep you posted if they are. Ian, Grant Udinski, a better option for the Browns. I think he's the favorite right now. Well, he is the favorite right now in betting odds, but I think he actually is the Browns' favorite. You know, we just heard that Udinski and Nate Shieldhouse are the finalists, according to Jordan Schultz, for the Cleveland Browns head coach job. And I like Udinski because he's in an offensive coordinator role. The stories I'm hearing about him are that he is so dedicated and passionate to studying football, learning the sport, stays late, football guy. Yeah, like what I'm hearing a lot. I think he is a better option for the Browns, and they're the team that can take this swing if you keep Jim Schwartz especially. Brownies for life says, buy low on CJ Stroud. Hashtag Browns. Ooh, here's a question, and this has been circulating a lot across Browns social media. And CJ Stroud rumors have been circulating even more just because of, well, he seems to have lost a step in Houston, right? But there's a lot of potential for CJ Stroud when he entered this league. I mean, they went to the playoffs, right? I mean, they've won 3 wild card games with CJ Stroud. They thought they found their guy over there in Houston. However, when they played New England, I mean, 4 interceptions, 20 of 47. Quarterback rating was 28. It was awful. And you have Texans fans saying, start Davis Mills. I mean, they're saying they're going to move on from Stroud here now because Texans are in a window, right? Their Super Bowl window is actually open. Not like the Browns, even though Mary Kay says ours is open. The Texans have the best defense in the league. They're elite. They got hot heading into the playoffs. They're a team that should have made a run. And so your quarterback situation is you don't have time to wait. If Stroud's not the guy, you can't win with him, you're trading him. And if that's the case, then he's not going to be as expensive as you think. So what if C.J. Stroud is worth a 2nd-round pick? And the Browns get C.J. Stroud, Houston gets a 2nd this year. Are you open to that, Browns fans? I mean, for a 2nd-round pick, yeah, I would take C.J. Stroud, knowing what he could be. It's not like the Deshaun Watson trade of you giving 3 first-round picks. And I know you guys are probably, some of you might be saying, no, Stroud clearly can't play anymore. I mean, the Browns, there's no quarterbacks in this market, so I wouldn't mind bringing him in. At the very least, could be a mentor for Shador as well, and he still has potential, unlike Watson, who's aging out. So would you accept this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. Let me know in the chat what you think about bringing in an Ohio State guy, C.J. Stroud. Next question. Laserbeam78. Hashtag Browns. Hire McDermott and hire Udinski. That would be phenomenal. Bring them both in. But I think it's very unlikely Udinski leaves Jacksonville unless he's getting a head coach job. I mean, they seem to have found something that's working there with Liam Cohen and Udinski, and it has resurged Trevor Lawrence. So I think Udinski's going to only leave for a promotion, not to be the offensive coordinator in Cleveland. And I still think the Browns should inquire about Sean McDermott. Just being a winner, seeing a lot of things, having playoff success, never a Super Bowl, which is probably the knock in Buffalo, but I think the Bills made the wrong decision. Their GM is an issue over there, not Sean McDermott necessarily. Udinski, though, I think it could be a done deal pretty soon for the Browns. I'll keep you guys posted. Austin, as a Giants fan, should I be worried about Todd Monken going for their head coach opening over the OC job for New York? It's a great question from Austin here. Here's what I'll tell you, Mr. Austin. So Harbaugh actually spoke about this as well. You know, he was on Tuesday. He was like, I think Todd's, over in Cleveland right now interviewing for a head coach job. So we'll see. But there's plenty of coaches that want to come here to New York. I will tell you, Monken is in this mix. I think it's unlikely they go with Todd Monken unless, Udinski, doesn't impress them in their second interview, which he wowed them in their first interview. I think you're safe that Monken will follow Harbaugh. But, yeah, he's still in this mix. He's seeing out this opportunity. He will take the head coach job here rather than the OC job with New York. Jeremy Fowler says it's pretty simple. Todd Monken is going to see out this head coach opportunity and then decide where to go if he doesn't get it. So, yeah, I would be a little worried, Austin. It's not a done deal that Monken's headed to New York. But I would have to if I gave you a percentage, I would say it's like 70% that he's going to follow Harbaugh, like a 70-30 thing here. So that's your answer. Good question from Austin. Brandon, what's going on, Brandon Ball? Can't wait to see Prime in Cleveland, bro. LOL. Wouldn't that be box office, Mr. Brandon? I definitely don't think it's going to happen, but I could see Cleveland calling Prime, calling Deion for an interview because they do need another minority candidate. In fact, maybe you're watching this and the Browns have already called them up to interview. I think it's very unlikely that it would happen and they would hire him. I mean, Colorado was awful last year without Shador. I believe they only had 3 wins. So, probably not something that would translate well to the NFL. And also, Deion has said he doesn't really want to coach in the NFL. But one factor that would change that is if he's getting to coach his son again. So, at the most, there's an interview. I don't think there is a real hire for Coach Prime. But much love to Coach Prime, man. I definitely a big fan of his and his game when he was a player. So, shout out to Deion, but don't think it's very likely. Appreciate the question, my friend Brandon. All right, we got more questions to answer here on the back half of today's show, but don't miss out on this awesome deal we have for you guys, which is a Myles Garrett Record T-Shirt for only $34.99 if you go to chatsports.com/MGRecord. This is a moment in history, folks, that we got to watch last season, of a season filled with ups and a lot of downs. This was the biggest up. Myles Garrett. Look how cool that moment is, captured on a T-shirt here at chatsports.com/MGRecord. Only $34.99. That link will be in the comment section. It will be in the description. It will even be underneath the pinned comment. Ain't that right, Producer Jack? chatsports.com/MGRecord. Don't miss out on this cool deal that we have. Get it while we have it. Next question comes in from Robert Colbert. Just hired Jim Schwartz for head coach and Grant Udinski for offensive coordinator because we can't lose Jim Schwartz! Exclamation, exclamation. I like your thinking here, Robert Colbert, or should I say Kathy, but I don't think Udinski comes here to be an OC. He has an OC job in a system that worked pretty well for him last year, a playoff team, with a coach that he likes, that liked him, Liam Cohen. So I would love it. That would be my a dream scenario. But think about this, Robert. Because this isn't possible, what's wrong with the flip side of it? Udinski head coach, Jim Schwartz assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. It's the same thing, both of them in the building, but Udinski are going to have at least a more offensive-minded focus, which is Cleveland's biggest issue. Schwartz can just focus on the defense. He does such a phenomenal job there as DC. So I like having both of them in the building. Schwartz being able to mentor the young guys in the head coach aspect, but Udinski bringing his work ethic, drive, and offensive mind to help turn around this Browns offense. Something to consider. Rose, shout out to Rose. Now that we know our draft spots and we need O-linemen and wide receivers, what spot should be for which position, and who are your best picks? Good question here from Rose. We know the draft spots. We know what we need. I think O-line has to be first. You got a top 6 pick. You get the best offensive lineman in the draft. If Maui Noah is there, you take Maui Noah. If Fano's there, Mel Kiper has the Browns taking Spencer Fano. It's your biggest need. It's one of the most important things in the NFL these days is you win in the trenches. Nothing else works if you don't have an offensive line and a head coach, folks. Nothing. See it in every scenario across the league. So get an O-line first, and those are the top 2. Wide receiver late, I like Denzel Boston. Zachariah Branch is another option. It's one that Kiper thinks the Browns will take. You know, if either of those 2 are available, Branch maybe early second even. Boston's going to have to go first round. You know, I like him a lot. He's 6'4", good at contested catches, very physical, boxes out defenders. So those would be my picks, and they both should be addressed in the first round. Otherwise, you take O-line in the first round and try to get a receiver early second. But that's my take on the matter, Rose. Having 2 firsts is crucial. This is the year that you need it. We're trying to fast-track a rebuild here. What would your pick be? Comment down below your number 1 choice to be the Browns head coach down below. Listen, talked about Udinski a decent amount and Schwartz, all right, on today's mailbag. What would your number 1 choice be? Let me know in the comment section. Joshua Miller, did we make a mistake in building a D for a specific DC? Oh, that's a good question, Josh. Well, the goal is that you can keep the DC, right? So, no, I don't think it's a mistake. Jim Schwartz's scheme is so phenomenal. You know, he's the reason that a lot of those players have developed in his scheme, right? You went out, you trade for Tyson Campbell. Campbell looks substantially better in the Browns' defensive scheme than he did in Jacksonville's, where they run a lot of zone over there. Schwartz, man-to-man. Tyson Campbell, a physical corner, good at tackling. It's perfect for him. So, I don't think it's a mistake because the idea is the Browns are doing everything they can to keep Jim Schwartz. That's the reports I'm hearing. They might even promote him just to keep him. Or at the very least, give him more money and responsibility to stay here. Now, he can't go be another coordinator. The Browns have him under contract. They can block suitors at the coordinator job. He could only go take a head coach job, and I don't think the Ravens are going to hire him at head coach. They interviewed him, but they're more likely going to get, Jesse Minter. They might have Minter right now by the time you're watching this. More likely scenario over there in Baltimore. So I think they're in a good spot where you're keeping Schwartz at DC for 1 more year. And then we'll have those conversations about a promotion depending on how Udinski or the new head coach does this season. So it's not a mistake just yet, but I do get where you're coming from, Joshua Miller. Thank you for that question. Next what? Hilfiger Hendricks. Browns chat. Do you see us drafting a running back later on or picking up a third in free agency? Also, is Samson going to be our RB1 heading into next year? It's a good question here. The Browns do always kind of draft an extra piece at position that they don't really need, like D-line and running back. I could absolutely see them bringing in another running back, but definitely not a position need that they're going to be targeting. Judkins' injury looked bad. It's actually a better case scenario. He didn't tear the ACL, the MCL, none of the CLs, right? Fractured fibula, dislocated ankle, which is bad, but should take a few months. Like, he could even ramp up for training camp and at the most miss week 1. But no, I actually think he'll be back for week 1. So Judkins will be RB1. Don't you worry about that. And Sampson will still be in the mix as well as RB2. I imagine Jerome Ford walks in free agency. But guess what? We saw a lot of positives from Raheem Sanders, right? Like, I think Cleveland's pretty set in that room. I might even elevate Sanders to RB2 from what we saw from Rocket Sanders. It was phenomenal in those last few games. So I think they're set. Leave it to the Browns to go out and get another, but I think they're set with what they have, and hopefully their main focus is just O-line, O-line, O-line. A reminder, that I need some diehard Browns fans to help me out on X, folks. Joey070 is where you can find me. I'll give you a shout out if you give me a follow. Trying to get 25 more on today's show. Really appreciate everybody's help. So go on over there, hit me up. I'll answer your replies as well. And if you want to be part of shows like this, hit that sub button, or you can ask me questions on Twitter as well. Appreciate you all. We'll see you next time.